Hey guys, this is Gatsby with Dave, and today you join me for episode 14 of Fall of Kerbin, and today we start having a little look at one of our Centaur medium tanks. Penguin bombed this to hell. He dropped bombs kind of close to it, which flung it across the terrain, and even got some direct hits with 500-pound bombs. But did it go down? Hell no. Actually, from this side, it looks kind of fine, but the other side, it's a bit damaged. But yes, this survived 2 strikes from 2 500-pound bombs, and it is alive. So I'm very happy about that. And anyway, talking of tanks that survive things, we're going to go up to Osiris Bay, where actually 2 of our light tanks survived. I think Penguin thought he'd destroyed all of them, but he'd only destroyed 2 of them. In fairness, he did also destroy one of my emplacements, but both of these survived. Not quite as well as the other tanks, but they're still functional. They still move, they still have weapon managers and weapons. They have all of the things that mean that they can survive. But anyway, let's get on to the turn. So the first thing we're going to do is send out our P11C, a slightly upgraded version of the Valkyrie, which is we had from last turn. We've increased the size of its wings a bit and the size of its wheels because it couldn't get off the carrier for some reason when Penguin attacked. But yeah, it's slightly different now. I'd just like to, quickly apologize that this is a little bit late, this episode. I've been ill this week, which is why there have been pretty much no videos. But yeah, stuff happens. But anyway, let's get on with the turn. So yes, this is our heavy attacker, which we have left on our carrier. It luckily just kind of stayed in the water during Penguin's turn so that it wouldn't get shot down. But we've upgraded it, made its wings bigger, curved them up a little bit, added a big front wheel so that it's more durable for carrier landings. But anyway, now we get to watch Penguin's fighters scramble into the ocean. This one almost takes off, but then sort of hits the ocean. His attacker is in the air, but he still doesn't seem to have been able to get those normal planes to take off the carrier. But it is a hard thing to do, actually, without really powerful engines. Anyway, we're going to attempt to dive bomb in this big-ass plane, because Penguin has launched a battleship, and a Kruolan battleship is a pretty deadly thing to have in the oceans, and we don't have any battleships, we just have cruisers, although I'd call them battle cruisers. Anyway, we drop the bomb and try to pull out because we thought we were at a good distance, but that battleship has a lot of guns on it, and we get just torn apart the second we try to pull out. The 1,600-pound bomb does fly in, but it does look like it just misses, which is a bit of a shame, so that was kind of a waste of a plane. But anyway, moving on, we will not be deterred by this, and we're launching a new attacker. This is the P4A. Python, that's its name. Yes, this is actually an attacker I designed a while ago, but haven't really flown yet. But this is quite a decent. This is a fighter bomber. The Valkyrie is more of just a heavy attacker. It's not been massively maneuverable. It's pretty big, so it's quite easy to shoot down. But this is just a dedicated attacker. It has 2 cockpits, so it has a tail gun, which is great. It's one of those 50 cal, very deadly tail guns, and it has a pretty powerful engine on the front. So yes, we're going to send this over to Azamek, so that we can go and mess up some of Penguin's. Well, actually, the first thing we're going to do is shoot down one of the Kruolan attackers, which is down there. Now, the reason I sent an attacker to do this instead of a fighter is currently our attackers using these highly overpowered tail guns. So I didn't really want to face that in a fighter, so what I decided to do is kill 2 birds with 1 stone, send an attacker to try and bomb out some of these emplacements, and also fight fire with fire. I'm going to use that tail gun to shoot down the plane with the scary tail gun, because it's very effective. We do start taking a little bit of fire from that 76mm emplacement, but nothing really to worry about, because we're, kind of almost 5 kilometers away from it. But anyway, we're going to want to get in front of that vulture, actually, which is not the usual thing you'd want to do in air combat. Usually you want to be behind them, but since these attackers have very deadly tail guns, we want to be in front of them. So we overtake them quite seriously, so that they're hot on our tail. They think it's a good idea to get on our tail because they haven't seen one of these before. It's a brand new plane. And inevitably, they catch up, my guns open up, and they start to kind of die because this is crazy powerful. We will be nerfing this next turn because Penguin's used it to massive success. I'm going to use it to massive success this turn because why not? And yes, we shoot down the plane. It bursts into flames and starts to tumble towards the ground. And there it goes. That's rather nice. We get a quick shot of it exploding because, And now for the other part of this mission, to try and drop some bombs on those emplacements. So we drop 3 250-pound bombs on that 76mm, and we're going to try and drop 2 250-pound bombs on that 40mm. However, when I drop my bombs, my control point goes vertically, which is, you can see the nav bullet's pointing upward when I'm flying forward, which makes flying quite hard because it messes with your controls. I think this is actually a problem with those cockpits, and I do find a fix, which is just slap a little probe core in there. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. It also means that a couple of my bombs, I think, would be even less accurate than they currently were. I did drop these bombs from way too high, and they missed by a country mile. Actually, those weren't that far off the 76mm, but those ones are way off. But yes, trying to parallel bomb from 5 kilometers up is not a great idea, but yeah, luckily I did do that because the controls are all messed up and I wouldn't have been able to escape. I am, however, able to land because I can land anything. That is my claim to... That's the one thing I'm actually good at, is landing kind of ridiculous things. I've just... You know, if it flies straight occasionally, you can land it. So we do overshoot the runway because I do have limited control, but there's a nice little slope up here, and yeah. So we're going to land on our southern forward operating base. The Penguin seems to think it's his because he built it and paid for it. But no, it's ours because we took it. Anyway, moving on to another attack. We're going to head north to Osiris Fortress, where we'll be launching another P3A Python. Now these hopefully will be doing a good job at this episode because government, obviously, we want them to fund these because these are great. These are great fighters. Well, they're decent fighters and they have a tail gun. They're good for dropping bombs. They'd be probably better on carriers than the P11, which is the big Valkyrie, the big 2-engine thing, because that does have a very high top speed, but it has pretty slow acceleration actually. Whereas these accelerate quite fast, but don't have quite as high a top speed as the P11s. Anyway, so we fly over to Valley's Guard, where we need to drop some bombs on a tank. Because there's quite a few tanks stationed here. There's, I think, 3 Mambas and some mobile guns. Anyway, we drop 1,250 pounds of bombs on that. That's 2 500 pounds and 120 pounds. Then we use this little this probe core to switch our control back because bombs are super jank right now. We see one of the Kruolan attackers take off, the other one explode on the runway. I'm going to assume that's a glitch and, you know, put it back there. Anyway, the bombs luckily managed to slam into the tank because I was dropping them from about 4 kilometers, which is much easier than dropping them from 5 kilometers. So it appears we've at least highly damaged that Mamba. It still looks like it's technically alive, but yeah. We're also taking a huge amount of, well, not a huge amount, but a fairly decent amount of AA fire from those 37mm and 76mm, but we're pretty much out of range now. So now we just have to chase down the Vulture with our Python and then get in front of the Vulture, like we see here, because I was going much faster than him and I had a lot of altitude on him, so he couldn't stay ahead. And then we let him catch up, thinking it's a good idea, and open up with the 50 cal, because yes, it's evil, but I have to fight fire with fire. However, I pull up and it kind of goes into a stall, because of I had a bunch of trim on to keep it stable, but then it kind of stalls, but that's fine because we actually get a pretty good shot while in the stall, and then we regain control and watch our enemy tumble into the ground. Yes, that's rather glorious. These are proving to be very useful. It will be a shame to see these tail guns nerfed next episode, but you can see that they're really, really powerful and very hard to attack, actually. Anyway, we get a look at the tank, and it's pretty much just totally wasted. I mean, it does have its gun and its control pod, but it doesn't have any wheels or armor or ammo or anything. So I'm going to call that dead. Anyway, this mission is not over. We're flying over to Penguin's Northern Carrier Group because we need to shoot these down. You can see his Pelicans scrambling to get into the air. These have been hounding my ships. And although they haven't done any damage, well, they haven't killed a ship yet, the bombs are getting a buff next episode because they seem kind of useless right now. So we definitely want them dead pretty soon. However, right now it doesn't look like they're particularly interested in me, so I'm going to have to turn around and go and get them. Because you can see I try and make them chase me away from the deadly anti-aircraft fire of those ships, but they're, you know, content to hang around. So after a little while, I fly over to them, and they finally make chase. And we open up with the 50 caliber tail gun once again, tearing apart the first Pelican. And then it's just a matter of waiting for the others to try and shoot me down and shoot them down first. Well, hopefully, at least. Anyway, we can see the first one just exploding and losing everything and tumbling into the ground. But the second Pelican is hot on my tail, coming up on the far left, but our machine gunner opens up very quickly with the 50, but fires a whole magazine and doesn't score a single hit. which is not great because they're closing fast, but he quickly reloads, opens up again. The pilot loses control because I think I'm going too fast. And then in our dive, I think we do manage to take out the final one. Yes, my controls lock up again. I've been informed that that's actually a feature of the mod. It's really annoying. I don't know what mod, but it's a feature of something, and it's really annoying. Anyway, it looks like the Pelicans are actually both still alive. I thought I would have taken them down then, but I was losing control. But he gets close, the 50 opens up, and he tumbles into the ground in a blaze of, well, not glory, because he didn't really do anything. A blaze of being killed 3-1. Yeah. Anyway, he'll tumble into the ground and die not valiantly, but, you know, just shamefully. Anyway, we're going to move on to the final pelican who was trying to run away, but we catch him, and he flies over us. I was going to try and shoot him with my front guns, but, yeah, the tail gun's just so much easier. So we just turn around, keep opening up. It looks like a few bullets are bouncing off him, but then finally he's torn apart. Rather wonderfully. I'm sorry if my voice is starting to break up. It's because, you know, I'm ill, which may be why I sound even more angry at the Kruolan pilots, calling them not valiant and things. You know, I'm a terrible person. Anyway, on our way back, you'll notice that we are not going to Osiris Fortress. Oh, hell no. We don't want this sitting around waiting to be shot down by encroaching ships. And where we do need it is at Osiris Bay, because there's been multiple air attacks on this, on this glorious city. We've lost many tanks and many people, so we come in, we land, and we move this over to a bit of grass near the end of the city. Now there is a runway at Osiris Bay, but that's kind of not the angle they'll be attacking from, so I've put this in a position where it'll be able to take off and shoot down anything that may come. But now we move to Osiris Fortress, where we've deployed another Scimitar-class cruiser, the USS Rockdale, named for one of our cities, our glorious Cathenian city. So yes, this is the final setup for what will be defending Osiris Fortress in the upcoming battle. Now, Penguin may be able to do some damage with some attackers and destroy some of these ships to kind of level the playing field, because right now I have more force here than he does when he'll attack. However, when he attacks, 3 of his cruisers won't be able to shoot for the first 5 kilometers, which I've worked out may give me up to 10 minutes in which I have double the firepower. And that's if he's coming at me straight on, which will half his cruisers, his modern cruisers' firepower again, which will give me another advantage. So he'll have maybe a quarter of the firepower if he's lucky, less than that, because I also have some coastal emplacements and a frigate. So this could go either way, but I think we have this in the bag, but we'll have to see. So watch Penguin's next episode, and you will see if we will win the battle for Osiris Fortress. And we're also deploying another cruiser down to our southern carrier group, the USS Chivalrous, which is also defending our waters. Yes, I am doing more cruiser spam because we have big battles coming up, probably. I was thinking of deploying some submarines this turn, but I've been ill. I didn't want to build submarines, but also it's good to have, you know, more cruisers because they're pretty deadly. Anyway, and we are going to send that southern carrier back to Asia's front because it is out of planes. It's had everything shot down. Penguin came in and shot down my P-7Bs, which have had their name changed to Corsair because Penguin preemptively stole the name Pelican from me, which was super lame. I didn't steal it from him. He totally came back and re-stole it. But yes, these are my attackers, which were shot down by Penguin's fighters last time. You can see them nicely lined up on the carrier, ready to, well, go and rip apart some battleships, hopefully. And also in the south, at our forward operating base, kind of on our side of the island chain, we've sent a couple of supply units and used one of them to fix one of the C2 Centaurs, and also sent a new C2 Centaur. So now we have an M2 Minotaur light tank and 2 C2 Centaur medium tanks, which apparently are resistant to direct hits from 500-pound bombs, so that's pretty good. And back up north in Osiris Bay, our city under siege, we have deployed some more light tanks. We've deployed 3 more, because we deployed a medium tank earlier, so now we actually have 5 light tanks in this city again, and a bunch of emplacements, and we have an attacker there defending it. So it should be pretty good, pretty well defended. It's pretty hard to get through these light tanks when there's this many. Now Penguin may try to bomb us out, but well, we've moved one of the 3-inch emplacements a bit. We've got the attackers there now, and these are quite well spread out. And you can see a bit of tank that wasn't so lucky last time. Anyway, the final part of our turn, I thought I'd shake it up and do something more than just placing things down in the end. This is another attack run on Valley's Guard. We're going to drop a few bombs. There go, I think, 2 500-pound bombs and 1 250-pound bomb to try and take out another one of those Mambas, because if I don't, Penguin could have up to 7 light tanks, or maybe some freaking heavy tanks. Have you seen those Tigers he built? They're terrifying. I mean, light tanks are great in the city, but those things are massive. Anyway, we start taking some pretty serious fire from, I think, just the 37mm and the 3-inch gun, because the 20mm have a pretty short range. Would only really defend against me if I were dive bombing. Anyway, the bombs miss. One of them does get pretty close to the Mamba, but not close enough to damage it, so we've only taken down one this episode, which is a bit of a shame. But, yeah, I didn't want to dive bomb. None of my planes ever survive when I dive bomb. When Penguin dive bombs, he pulls out great, and he flies along the water and fires a torpedo, and it's all when I dive bomb, I just get killed the second I get anywhere near the ships. I don't know. Anyway, taking out my rage at my lack of ability to dive bomb. Well, I can dive bomb, I just can't survive dive bombing. Anyway, we are going to take down this final vulture. Yes, it did explode on the runway, but that seemed like a glitch. So we relaunched it so that I could shoot it down myself. We also pull another one of our super tactical stalls to shoot him down even better, and we watch him plunge into the ground. Yes, these 50 cals. Although I was scared of them at the start of the episode, I'm quite liking them now that I've used them to my advantage. These new attackers are serving very well. Anyway, this will be heading also to Osiris Bay, where it will also be lining up. Not on this runway, it's going to land on this runway and then also move over to the city to take off and shoot down anything the Kruolans might throw at us. Because we can't have this city falling to them, because, well, it's our city, and, you know, Osiris Fortress is about to be attacked. It's all fallen apart in the north, really, but we're holding on strong, we're dug in, and we will win this war. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you want to go check out a couple more videos, there's a video I did on Monday, about a game called Cave Blazers, which is a bunch of fun. It's like a roguelike platformer. It's just a bunch of fun. It's also my most recent episode of Prison Architect, in which I can't really remember what we did. I'm ill and I haven't uploaded in a while, so... But anyway, there are also links to my Twitter, Twitch, and Patreon in the description if you're interested. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSB with Tape. I'll see you next time.